Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link tree down below. Has a link to all of my YouTube pages. Also has the link to my social media as well. Please go down there, follow me across my YouTube pages, turn on your notifications for those. And also, hey, follow me on all of my social media platforms as well. Talk to me, I'll talk back, you know what I'm saying? So I want to thank everyone that gets involved with those links any way that they can. Now with that said and done and put to the side, I'm going to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets interviewing Eric Bieniemy. Listen, Eric B, he's currently the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, but this is a head coaching candidate that I like a lot. I like him a lot. He's one of the guys that's in the mix of guys that I'll be talking about coming forward that I really think could have a big time impact on this franchise. And a big time impact, in our head coaching position. So one of the things that I like about him the most, particularly, is he's an offensive guy, and I really truly believe that he can come in here and revolutionize the way that we handle things offensively. When you look at the situations what he's doing with the Chiefs, that offense is unbelievable, okay? And they put guys in the best situations to make plays. One of the knock that a lot of people try to have on Eric B is that, he's not the actual play caller. But again, he's on that staff. He's a guy that is working on that game plan on a weekly basis. Of course, we all know Andy Reid is going to be the guy that actually calls the plays because it's Andy Reid. But Andy Reid also always surrounds himself with great young offensive minds that help him continue to evolve and move forward with the NFL. That's why he's continued to be so successful. Also, if you look at a lot of his former offensive assistants that have come from that Andy Reid coaching tree, you got guys like Doug Peterson, Matt Nagy. Those guys are doing great in the league. Those guys are calling, plays and doing that thing. Doug Peterson just won a Super Bowl. And if you look at the way that Doug Peterson calls plays and what he's been able to do, we've seen him, he's a winner. Like, we've seen him go out there and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen him put game plans together for teams that were not very good, but utilize their offensive skill set of the players that he had and win. We've seen him win with teams that were riddled with injuries. I'm talking riddled. We've also seen him be able to adjust his game plan for quarterbacks. And I think that Eric B, again, we've seen him do that as well. And not only have we seen Eric B do that, adjust his game plan for quarterbacks, but we've also seen him be a part of a staff that groomed and matured a young quarterback as well. And that's huge because that's exactly what we're trying to do here. Whether it be you stick with Sam Darnold or you move on and draft one of these young kids in the draft, we need somebody that's going to be able to come in here and understand that, this young quarterback does this, and this well. Here's what I can do in my offensive system to highlight those things while all simultaneously while working on his weaknesses and making those become strengths as well. Package that and move forward and have him completely destroy the league. That's how you build. If you look around the league, that's what they've done. Lamar Jackson, hell, Josh Allen in our own division. Josh Allen was not the same quarterback this year when he's the MVP candidate that he was the first year that he entered the league. He was a very raw prospect that had issues with accuracy. His mechanics were all over the place. And guess what? That coaching staff there got with him, bettered his mechanics, did all this work with him. And now, again, like I just talked about, he's the MVP candidate at this point. We need somebody that's going to be able to come in here and do that, and that has shown improve. And Eric B has been one of those guys because, again, he worked on the staff. He's the offensive coordinator of the staff that is helping Mahomes continue to, emerge in this football league. I mean, he's one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, point blank period. So I like that aspect of Eric B as well. I also like the impact of his leadership as well. Very charismatic guy. One thing that I had an issue with Adam Gase is that I didn't feel like he understood how to connect with today's player and that he wasn't a very good leader. That was one of the biggest issues with him. That's been one of the biggest issues with him since he's been a head coach in the league. Well, Eric B is the complete reverse of that. Look, you can go on social media, and when he did not get a head coaching job last year, there were players that were on his team that were upset that he didn't get hired somewhere else. If you look at around the league, you will hear players, that have dealt with him, that worked with him. Again, all those players in Kansas City, they speak glowingly of him. They love Eric B. They love him. We've also seen him, be able to, again, mentor young players. We've seen him completely go crazy on the sidelines when players were not getting things right. And we've also seen him correct players to get them going in the right direction. So all of that leadership, the charisma, the ability to connect with today's young player, that's huge because, again, we're in a rebuild. We're trying to figure things out. We're trying to move forward, and we need somebody that's going to step in and be able to have these young players sit up, at attention when they're listening to him, take in what he's saying, and then move forward. We want to get a guy that players are going to want to run through a wall for, and I think Eric B is going to be one of those guys. One of the questions that I have, though, it's the only question, is I wonder who his defensive coordinator would be. You know what I'm saying? That's just the only question. If the Jets were to hire him, I just wonder what his defensive staff would look like. I'd be intrigued to see who he would hire there. But everything else for me, man, just checks out. The ability to game plan is there. We've seen that with the Chiefs. Just his impact on young quarterbacks. The leadership. Also, he would attract a lot of players here as well with those leadership skills. In free agency, I could see a lot of players looking at the Jets because we're not necessarily a destination for free agents at this point. But if Eric B were to come here and we were to make some changes, I could see a lot of, players in free agency going, you know what? I'm a wide receiver. I'm a good wide receiver. I'm looking for a home right at this point. Don't want to go back to the team that I just came from. But, the Jets are pretty attractive. Eric B's a guy that's going to put together a great game plan, and I think that he'll better my career. I think I can go there and really have numbers in his offensive system. I can see a lot of offensive players really looking at us as a destination because Eric B would be here. So it's a guy I would like to see the Jets hire. Again, he's one of the guys that I'm really high on. There's other guys, and I'll continue to profile them, as I continue to put out content. But let me tell you, he's one of the guys that I'm pretty high on. So please comment down below and let me know what you folks think. How do you feel about Eric B? What are your thoughts about his possible impact on this offense? Do you think he's ready to be a head coach? I know there's some people out there that have questions, again, because a lot of people feel like because he's not the actual play caller that they don't know if he's the right fit. What are your thoughts about his impact as far as his leadership? Do you think he's the guy that's charismatic enough that will be able to continue to push forward with this franchise and build this football team? Do you think if he steps in the door that young players will respect him and play for him? So I want to hear what you folks got to say about that. Folks, please comment down below. You have a good one. Peace.